Hello, my friends. Yesterday, I finally went and saw The Rise of Skywalker, and I'm here to give my opinion on the movie. So, spoilers, be warned. Now, let's get the stuff I didn't like out of the way first. One, I don't like that they relied on, the Emperor as a crutch. Like, they shouldn't have to bank on original trilogy nostalgia to be able to interest people. It should stand on its own. And I also don't know where all those people crewing all those Final Order Star Destroyers and all those Sith people in the arena, I don't know where the heck they all came from. But like that guy said, cloning or whatever the heck. Another thing I didn't like was that Kylo, when he lands on the Sith planet, he he appears to be flying an Imperial TIE fighter. And that would be impossible because Imperial TIE fighters don't have hyperdrives. So how would he get from Endor, where the wreck of the Death Star was, because that's where it was last, to the Sith planet on a vehicle that doesn't have a hyperdrive? I mean, maybe he just found Rey's boat skimmer and went back to the First Order deserters and borrowed a TIE SF from them, because those ones do have hyperdrives. And the deserters would have that stuff. Or maybe he found in the Death Star, he found a Gazanti and a TIE fighter, and he took them both, because the Gazanti is needed for hyperdrive, and the TIE, so he can move fast and dogfight if need be. And I honestly didn't really like that Hux became a Resistance spy, and that Kylo redeemed himself, honestly. Because I feel like that makes it harder for other Star Wars media, such as games and books, to portray those characters as agents of the First Order. But at the same time, having said that, Vader, something similar happened with Vader. He switched sides, basically, at the end of the original trilogy, but games and other media still portray him as an agent of the Empire, and that makes sense. So I might just be overthinking it. Now, the Knights of Ren were pretty underused, pretty underwhelming. They kind of fucked up there. So that's another thing I didn't really like. Now, moving on to more positive stuff. The thing I love the most is that fleet at the end that came in to battle the Star Destroyers. I don't understand. Oh no, that fleet, the Resistance or the light side fleet at the end. I was worried when the trailer dropped that fleet was going to be the Resistance Navy, and I didn't like that because you can see that they're using all sorts of galactic Civil War era ships, such as the B-Wing, or not the B-Wing, the Nebulon B, MC-75, and even the Pelta class, which is a Clone Wars ship. And I didn't like that the Resistance was using these old ships, because I'd rather the Resistance get a new design, like the Star Fortress and the Bunker Buster and the MC-85. That was good. It wasn't just the same old stuff. It was a new design. So I was worried the Resistance was going to be using these really old Galactic Civil War era ships. Fortunately, I was wrong. And that fleet at the end was not the Resistance Navy. It was just normal people using whatever they could get their hands on. So it makes more sense now, and I'm glad that the Resistance isn't stuck with just using all these total outdated ships, because that's very lazy, honestly. Disney, make some new designs or something instead of just relying on stuff from the original trilogy. I don't like that the Resistance is using CR-90 Corellian corvettes. Those are good ships, but let's get something new, please, can we? Anyway, and another thing I liked, Rey's lightsaber at the end was pretty cool. And honestly, it seems like this film was the worst, or yeah, the worst of the sequel trilogy films for me. But don't get me wrong, it has a lot of good moments. I loved watching the Resistance techs and soldiers like battle the First Order and put out the Falcon, work on ships. And that whole thing, the hyperspace jump thing Poe was doing at the start, I can guarantee that's going to be a mechanic in a video game or a tabletop game like Star Wars X-Wing. Like, come on. It's almost too perfect. But honestly, definitely my least favorite of the sequel trilogy films. It kind of focused a little too much on stuff I wasn't interested in. I mean, it was still a fun movie. I enjoyed watching it, but there are some decisions I think that could have gone better. The biggest thing is the whole that they use the Emperor as a crutch. But I wouldn't have minded if they turned up the military aspect a little bit instead of delving into all this magic force stuff. Stuck more with, resistance versus first order and something like a military war. I mean, don't get me wrong though, the force stuff was pretty cool to learn about. And I loved the whole trick that Rey did to get the saber to Ben, where she held her hand behind her back and he got it through the magical bond. Yeah, so anyways, mixed bag, essentially. And I don't think it's my least favorite Star Wars movie. That goes to the Phantom Menace. But it was fun. It was exciting. I love that they actually acknowledged the Holdo maneuver and that it is 1 in a million. So that was pretty cool. Good, solid movie. I think J.J. Abrams, he did a pretty good job. There were things he could have done better, but let's be more positive. He did really well. A lot of cool stuff. Anyway, that's about it. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. And thank you very much for watching.